Morning students, in today's class we are going to see TCON, that is timer control register. So it is a 8-bit IT0, IE0, IT1, IE1, TR, TF, TR1, TF1. That is, it is going to handle your interrupt as well as your timer control signals. TF1 is nothing but timer 1 overflow flag. So it will be set by the hardware when the timer bar counter 1 overflows and it is cleared by hardware as processor vectors to interrupt service routine. TR1 is nothing but timer run control bit. So this particular bit is set or cleared only by means of software. Whereas TF1 is your overflow flag, it is set or reset only by the hardware control. So TF1 is your hardware control. TR1 is your software control. So timer run bit is a software control. It is set or reset only by means of your software. Same thing, TF0 is nothing but timer 0 overflow flag. It is set only by means of your hardware. TR0, it is timer 0 run control bit. It is set or cleared by means of your software to turn the timer bar counter on or off. TCON is your timer control register. So TCON 0 to TCON 3 is your timer control register, which is essentially used for internal interrupts or external interrupts. So the explanation and the function of the same is given over here. Now we'll see mode 1 programming. The following are the characteristics of the operation of mode 1 programming. It is a 16-bit timer. Therefore, it allows the value 0000 to FFFF to be loaded into the timer register TL or TH. And after TH and TL are loaded with the 16-bit initial value, the timer must be started. Then this is done by setB TR0 for timer 0 and setB TR1 for timer 1. First, whether we are going to write the program in mode 0 or mode 1. Mode 0 means the minimum count is 0000 and the maximum count is going to be 1FFF. Okay. We need to load this value in the respective timer lower register and high register. Then we need to initialize, then we have to start the timer. To start the timer, we have to give set bit TR1 or TR0 depending upon whether we are going to use timer 0 or timer 1. Once the timer is started, it starts to count and it reaches. Suppose if you are giving a minimum count as 0000 and the maximum count as 1FFF, your time, as soon as your set bit TR is started, it starts to count from 00000001. Likewise, it starts to count. At that moment, every time your timer flag will be checked. Once the timer flag is set, so once if you get the timer flag as set, then automatically the timer will come out and we need to clear your timer flag and you have to clear your timer run bit so that it will be ready for your next process. So I'll be taking one program where you can understand the modes of programming in a better manner. So all this is theory, and when I have handled the class, that time I have told how exactly we need to do. First I will tell how to calculate also, what is the value you need to load it in your timer low register and timer high register. You consider this program, assume the crystal oscillating frequency to be 11.0592, which is nothing but your microcontroller default frequency. We need to write a program to generate a waveform 75% duty cycle. First, we should understand what is meant by duty cycle. Duty cycle D is equal to T on divided by total time period. That is, how much amount of on period is available among the total time period. So 75% duty cycle in the sense T on divided by T is equal to 0.75. That is, T on is 75.75 times that of your total time period. For example, if you consider the total time period to be 10 milliseconds, for 75% duty cycle, the on period is going to be 7.5 millisecond. So we know that the duty cycle is equal to T on divided by total time period. In this problem, you are going to assume T as 10 millisecond. So when you assume t as 10 millisecond, t on is going to be 0.75 into 10 millisecond. So which is nothing but 7.5 millisecond. Your on period is going to be 7.5 millisecond. Whereas the off period is going to be 2.5 millisecond. So this is the importance of your duty cycle. Okay. Then I'm planning to write a program. Write this particular program in mode 1. So mode 1 is nothing but 16-bit timer. So in case of your 16-bit timer, the minimum count is 0000 and the maximum count is going to be FFFF. Okay, this is one. So timer can use this machine cycle from 0000 to FFFF. I need to load this particular value in my timer register. I can use either timer 1 or timer 2. If I am going to use timer 0, I will be loading my 16-bit data in TL0 or TH0. Suppose if I am going to use timer 1, I will be loading my data in TL1 or TH1. Anything is fine. Next, what should be the possible values that we need to load it in TH and TL register? So here the maximum count is from 0000 to FF. So 65,536 is your maximum count. Now consider the system frequency. The system frequency is 11.0592 MHz. Now we need to obtain the time period. So for here one machine cycle is equal to 12 clock pulse. So when 12 clock pulse is given, it is equal to one machine cycle. So to identify the time period, you are going to divide 12 divided by system frequency. So 12 divided by 11.0592 if you put, you will get 1.085 microseconds. Now for on period, what should be the data? I have to load it onto the timer register. And for off period, what should be the data? We need to load it onto the timer register. So on period, T on machine cycle is equal to T on. What is your time period T on? 7.5 millisecond divided by this 1.085 millisecond. So when you calculate in your calculator, you will get T on is equal to 6913 cycles. Okay. And next, required T on delay is equal to 65,000 because it is your maximum count. Among this maximum count, 6913 machine cycle is required for T on delay. So we need to minus, and for that if you identify the hexadecimal value, we will be getting E4FF. Next one is to identify our T off machine cycle. So T off machine cycle, the off time is going to be 2.5 milliseconds divided by your period of your machine cycle. So 1.085 microseconds. For this, when you calculate, you are getting 2305. The required T off delay is 65,536 minus 2304. You will be getting 63,232. This is your decimal value. When you find a hexadecimal, we will be getting F700. Now we need to load E4FF and F700 in your timer register. Either you can load it onto your timer 1 or you can load it onto your timer 0. First we will be starting. Here we planned to write the program in mode 1. So we will start the program. Move T mode. T mode in the sense timer mode. I am going to use it with mode 1. So move T mode comma #01. Next I want to have first I need to have off period, then on period, off period, on period, like that it should come. So first I will load the data that is required for off time delay. So F700, in this 00 will be your lower bit and F7 is going to be your higher bit. I am planning to use timer 0. So we will be loading the data in TL0 and TH0. So move TL0 is 00. TH0 will be F7. Then I am going to move a value 00 in port 1. A call delay. So I am going to call a delay function where the delay function is written only by using a timer. So when you call a delay, it comes over here. The first step to generate your delay function is you need to start your timer. To start your timer, the instruction to be used is set bit tr, that is you need to start your timer run bit, of your respective timer. Here, as we are going to use, as we have already used timer 0, here I am going to use timer 0 run bit, that is set bit tr0, and every time we will be checking the timer flag. So until the timer flag is set, the loop continues to run in the same line as specified over here. Once the timer flag is set, it means that the timing delay is over, and we need to clear your timer run bit and timer flag, and you have to return to the main program. When your assembler executes this return instruction, it will go to the next line of your call instruction. So after it goes to the next line of your call instruction, when it goes, it is loaded with FF. So here FF is going to be your LSB and E4 is going to be your MSB. So TL0 is loaded with FF and TH0 is loaded with E4. So after loading, that is this particular line is for maintaining your 0, that is I should get 0, right? Then it has to be maintained for 2.5 millisecond. Then it should rise to 1 and it should come for 7.5 milliseconds. So for 7.5, the time delay is E4FF. So TL, after loading the timer register, then move P0 with #0FF. Why? Because I need to go for higher value. Then A call delay. After calling the delay, you need to start your timer run bit, then check your timing flag, run till the timing flag has no bit. Once it got a bit, once the flag is set, clear your timer run bit and timer flag, then return to your main program. This is how you need to generate your time delay program using your timing function. So one C program I will see. Here write a 8051 C program to toggle all the bits of port 1 continuously with some time delay. So previously we have written a time delay using simple loop functions. Here we have to use the timer to generate the time delay. We can use 0 timer in mode 1 operation. This particular part of the program is going to be same. So reg51.h, we are going to utilize 8051 library function in embedded C. So this header file inclusion is must. Then while 1, it is for infinite loop. P1 is equal to 0x55. Toggle the bits. So between 55 and A, it is going to get toggle. After 55, it has to maintain some time delay. So call your delay function. So to do delay function, here I am going to use mode 1. To use mode 1, tmod is equal to, tmod is the identifier in 8051 to represent the mode of operation in timer. So tmod is equal to 0x01, and in timer 0, to maintain the time delay, I am going to load the data TL0 and TH0, and I will be running my timer run bit to be 1. Why? Because once the timer run bit is started 1, then the timing function starts, and you have to check until this particular timer run bit has to be 1 until your timer flag has no bit. Once your timer flag is set, then you have to clear your timer run bit and clear your timer flag so that it could be maintained, it could come for your next line. After this, it will be coming back to this P1 is equal to 0xAA. Then to do delay, again it will be calling your delay function. Again it runs. So in C, we need to write a program like this to generate a time delay using your timing function. Thank you, students.